You know, when you finally read a book and you have put it off because you have like this high expectation because you loved the movie so much. So it's not just being extremely happy, it's being, is elated the right word? Like, satisfied. It's everything. And I'm so happy. Was it better than the movie? I don't know. The level is so high because I love the movie so much, but I think I like them equally. The fact that they kept so close and true to the actual story, it just helps everything. The fact that while reading about Will and Lo, I can see the characters and it doesn't bother me at all. Instead, I absolutely love it because I think the casting for this movie was perfect. They didn't take away from the personality of the characters or the little quirks that they have. The only thing that makes the book better than the movie is the fact when you have more character development. So you actually see a little bit more of a growth between the climax parts in the story. So whereas in the movie it is still the same time period, but you get to know a little bit more detail what happens between them, if that makes sense. The last few chapters, I was like in anticipation of that moment in Switzerland, and it happened literally the last few pages. I was like, you know what's coming, but like, do you want to read about it? Say hello, Chloe. Hello. Say hello. So now that I've finally finished her, and I can make my little tick next to the box, it is time to read After You. I do not know how you guys feel about cracked spines. I do not mind this. Like, there's just a little few lines, but I'm gonna crack her in. If you do not know what that means, I will show you quickly. But I'm gonna crack her in and then I'm gonna start reading. I will say cracking in, I like the fact that it doesn't make like this hoop over here, like it goes bends like that. It stays flat, and that is what I like. But if it has like a little bit of lines, I don't mind it. Just a quick reading update. I'm almost halfway with this book, and the level of irritation that I have for Lily. She is such a brat. If you don't know who she is, it is Will's daughter. He never knew about her. She's a teenager. She found Lo because she wanted to know a little bit more about her family and her dad, but the way she's acting is such a brat. And obviously I know there's like underlining psychological stuff going on, but oh my goodness, your family is, or like your father's parents and everyone that was in his life is still grieving, and you just want everything to be about you. Obviously she did not get a lot of attention while growing up and all of that jazz. I know this, but the level of irritation that I have for this girl. Just a quick reading update. I did start with After You. I'm currently at chapter 14. I didn't really do, I think, I want to say like an intro for this book, because I did start reading it and then I left it for quite a while because I was really struggling with it in the beginning, especially the first 5 chapters. It was so sad. Yeah, Louisa isn't the Louisa, or yes, she wasn't the Louisa that we learned to know in the first book, In Me Before You. And I don't know, like, I feel like we were left at the end of Me Before You with like this excitement and like motivation, positivity, whatever, that she's gonna like go out into the world and yes, achieve greatness but like do these amazing things, which I hoped this book would be, but it was not, and it's still not. Like, yeah, I'm almost halfway and it is not that. It's really hard for me to start a book and just leave it to DNF it, so because there's always this thing at the back of your mind about, you know, what happened and whatnot, and maybe it would have been a good book if you just finished it. So I found many very not good books but I decided to continue it, and it did look like this might like she might get better emotionally and physically, because she had an accident, spoiler alert, which you're like, ugh, Louisa, come on. I think in the first 2 chapters it already happened. So yes, chapter 14, currently I'm like, I don't really know how I feel. Like, there's a little bit of excitement because she met this guy now and he's just so chilled with her. Like, he has so much patience because he also understands, he also had loss, and I just really hope that these 2 people get together and continue to bring the best out of each other, and maybe there can be a beautiful relationship that gets out of it. I do not know. That's where we're currently at. They had a moment, by the way, if you don't like spice, skip chapter 13. It's not too bad, but it's there. And then there was another moment that I think just brought her back to and I'm like, no, we were just taking a step forward and now we're taking 2 steps back again. So I'm really hoping that they can just have a conversation about it and then move forward, instead of having a time of, what's the word, not like, almost, I don't want to say silent treatment, but that it's awkward and blah blah blah. So I think they can really support one another in this journey of healing and getting better and whatnot. So I don't know, let's see. There's a guy in the back that's talking on the phone, so I hope you can't hear him, but so if you do, sorry. But I should just mention that she is in a grief group, and like, listen, these people in itself are characters, okay? They just like, they make me smile and laugh with the stuff that they say, and like just their honesty and bluntness. But that is a part that I actually enjoy, because not really enjoy because it's sad, like some of the stuff that they share, but the just bluntness and honesty is so good. And the guy that Louisa is basically seeing or talking to or whatever is the dad of one of the people in the group. So they started talking just like as friends, and she would ask him advice on
teenagers for a reason. I won't spoil it. That was a bomb. So obviously just like connecting, I want to say almost as friends, as a supporting role in a sense. And obviously things happen, but now she's in the group and this boy is sitting in front of her and she has to share now. Tonight we're talking about signs that we might be moving on. These don't have to be huge things, new relationships or throwing out clothes or whatever, just small things that makes us see there may be a way through grief. It's surprising how many of these signs go unnoticed, or we refuse to acknowledge them because we feel guilty for moving forward. So that's what they're sharing now. Now this is the week after she and this guy hooked up or whatever, and now the boy is sitting in front of her and she's like, I need to share this. It's so awkward.
Let's talk about it. It is official. I've actually finished the Me Before You series and I am so happy that it's something that I can finally tick off. And was I disappointed? Let's see. I did mention like previously in the video some of my thoughts, but this is my official overall review of each book and the whole series after I have finished all of them. So we first off started with Me Before You, and this one was a big one. As we all know, I loved the movie, and that is the reason why I wanted to read this whole series. So this book, I want to say, had a lot of expectations to live up to, but also because the movie was based on the book, so it should have actually been the other way around. But anyway, we digress. All in all, I am so happy with the book, as well as with the movie and the book, how it connected. So even though I felt like the movie was like highlights of the book, the timeline also was a lot faster in the movie than the book. So for that reason, I actually really love the book because we get a lot of more character development, and I want to say really time to connect with each character and their history that really influences the way that they see the world, the way that they do things. And that is why I really can recommend the Me Before You book. Usually it really irritates me when I first watch the movie or series and then read the book, as I cannot bring the characters or the actors that they chose for the movie, I cannot bring to myself to see the characters in the book. And they did it so well, choosing the correct characters or correct actors for the characters in the book. So while I read it, I saw them, Emilia Clarke and I think somebody. I absolutely saw them while reading this and it didn't bother me at all. I actually quite loved it. Like I mentioned, there's obviously more information in the book than what we get in the movie. And what happened, spoiler, what happened with Louisa when she was younger, obviously it makes a lot of sense why she does what she does. And also we get a little bit more insight into Will Trainer's life as well, before and after. And even though you exactly know what happens on the last page, I was actually telling my mom I need a moment, because here it is. The moment we've all been waiting for while reading, it's leading up to that moment. And just the way that they ended it is really beautiful and I think respectful. The next book was Off to You. Now, I really took some time between each book because I waited such a long time to read the series. I didn't want to just rush through it, get it over and done with, and then it's over. So I really wanted to give each story and each book its own time to marinate, to think about it, to really enjoy it. So between each book, I read other books, but that's fine. So that's the way I chose to read the series. But yes, the next one was Off to You. Now, this book, I took the longest time to get through because it was so incredibly frustrating. As I said, spoiler alerts. Lo, obviously, after what happened, she really went into a depression time and grieving time, but her grieving time was really long. So she had this moment of going overseas and experiencing things, and then it started, I think, the realization of what actually happened started to sink in. And that is when her grieving actually really only started. And this story is of, I want to say, her journey going through the grieving process. And yes, it was very frustrating, but also understandable in the same way. But you just wanted sometimes to give her a shake and say, Lo, wake up and let's get it. Come on. And then the other part, again, spoiler, but a girl shows up at her door and it really changes a lot of things in her life, for better and for worse. And this girl, she had me so incredibly frustrated that I actually had to put the book down quite a few times because I was just like, this girl, oh my goodness. But also with that, in teenagers, I was like, okay, maybe it's the hormones, maybe this, maybe that. And then the way there's, stuff that they tell you or things that she does is it's some things really had to happen in her life that makes her act and say certain things in certain ways that really frustrate you. So all in all, this was an incredibly difficult book to get through, but in the end I was really happy, and yes, just happy and relieved of the way that it ended. And then so incredibly happy about Sam in her life. Yes, stuff happened there as well, but I think that helped her grieving process. Some people might say that maybe it's not the best time to go into a relationship, and I think they also had that moment. But in the end, I think it was a really positive thing to be together and help each other through certain things. Last but not least, Still Me. Now, this book was another roller coaster. Also in the yes, frustrated, yes, frustrated, come on. Okay, so there's this guy, right? Currently, she's in America, she's working there, helping people out, whatever. And Sam, he frustrated me as well. Just really, okay. I obviously have feelings of the way that he acted and handled certain situations and whatnot. But anyway, spoiler, in the end, we are all very happy about how it ended. But through it all, she met another guy, and in the beginning, like some of them just do, they're amazing. They're supportive, it's this and that, and they love this quirkiness and they love that about you. And then the next moment, when you take that next serious step, they're like, Are you gonna wear that? Are you gonna really do that? There's the door. Bye. That's my honest opinion. The first time when he started with his stories about he didn't like the way that she dressed and he gave her another job title and stuff like that, it's like, dude, really? And in my mind, I was actually like, maybe for him to be able to get promoted, he needs to show that he's in a serious relationship. It wasn't that, but you know, that's how I felt. Yeah, it was heading towards. But I'm so happy that finally she gave him the boots. And then the old lady that she ended up looking after in the beginning, the first time we met her, I was like, that lady, there's gonna be a story. Like, she's actually behind the scenes gonna be a very nice, loving, caring woman. Maybe it wasn't really that, but almost. Almost. In the end, they all lived happily ever after. Sam moved to America. She started like her new thing, which really excited me. And I feel like in the end, through all of this and all these journeys and stuff that she went through, we finally get to a place where I feel like she got her voice. She got to know herself and be like, this is what I want to do. Not for everybody else, but for myself. This is what I enjoy doing, and then just going for it and being a success. So, in the end, it all ended very well. Overall, this series I really think was a thought-provoking series. It gave us all topics to talk about. I did go and read some comments about the books, and there's definitely stuff that came out, but I think in that way, it is such a good way to get people to talk about certain topics that's usually like a taboo thing. Like, you don't talk about it, you don't share your opinion about it, and it made me also think, especially the first book about Will and his situation, like, what would I do? And then not just that, it actually made me think, listen, maybe I need to make sure that certain stuff in my own life is like in place. You never know what happens. You have this great life, you are healthy, and just the next moment something really bad can happen and your whole life is changed. So what does that picture look like for you? Is everything in order for in case? If that never happens to you, thank you, and we are so grateful. But yes, you never know. That is something that I will take with me after reading this series. Please share in the comments what were your thoughts about the series, or even if you watched the movie, let me know what your thoughts were about the movie, and would you like to read the series? How did it impact you emotionally, and what character did you relate most to? Thank you so much for joining me and watching this vlog. Please remember to like and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next bookish corner. Bye!